and keep her chance at a 24th Grand Slam championship alive, believes ESPN tennis analyst Brad Gilbert.
And she's gotten better every day in practice, looked very good in her last match, and I expect her to even play better tonight because I think she'll be freer playing number 2 in the world instead of number 80 in the world.
Coverage of Serena's second-round match at the U.S. Open, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. NFL, the Eagles traded receiver Jalen Reagor, a 2020 first-round pick, to the Vikings for a 2023 seventh-rounder and a 2024 conditional fourth-rounder. Chargers signed running back Sony Michel, released by the Dolphins earlier this week. He became the Super Bowl champion Rams starter late last season. Orioles promoted top infield prospect Gunnar Henderson to the majors as they continue their playoff push. He was recently ranked as baseball's number 2 prospect overall by ESPN. The 21-year-old Henderson will be eligible to play in the postseason.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Russ Mitchell's back on AFR today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey. Do you have any idea how many people have tweeted me, texted me, Facebook messaged me, Instagram private messaged me, asking about Russ Mitchell today?
It's hump day.
John Jones, is Russ Mitchell coming on the show today?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He is, John. My goodness. James Tyrone, Russ Mitchell, 5:15? Yes, James. Russ Mitchell at 5:15. John Shirley, is it that time of year? Russ Mitchell back today? Yes, John Shirley. Russ Mitchell.
It's hump day.
Back today at 5:15.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got a lot of other stuff to do. We will talk to Taylor Calandro later this hour. Tons of Saints roster news stuff to get to.
It's hump day.
Ian Book, we barely knew thee.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's kick it. Let's get going here. Yesterday's big news, of course, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson traded from the New Orleans Saints. The 53-man roster, the first 53 was set, and today Saints made a ton of practice squad moves. Ian Book was claimed on waivers by the Philadelphia Eagles, so he is no longer a New Orleans Saint. We will get to tons of that, again, Russ, in hour 3. So glad to have you aboard with us here. A lot to get to. Brian Kelly, Wednesday morning on the SEC Coaches Teleconference. That's going to be a regular part of his week, 10 a.m. Central. So if you're looking for updates on Wednesdays, you'll get them. One of the sort of newsy things that happened today is that Brian Kelly did solidify and announce who his starting punt and kick returner will be.
We feel pretty comfortable with Malik Nabers as our returner, and we're going to return him with punts and kickoffs right now. So he's been dynamic for us, and feel like he's got the ability to change the game. And so, when you have a guy back there like Malik, you get a buy-in from everybody, in terms of your kickoff return team, your punt return team. They see the talent of a guy like that. So Malik Nabers right now is the guy that we're going to go with.
Malik's had an awesome camp. We all know that. He has been one of the standouts of camp. And in a mostly crappy game last year at Kentucky that's forgettable. The one really big standout play was Malik Nabers' freakish touchdown catch in the end zone. If you don't remember it, go look it up. You'll remind yourself. But I'm going to tell you this straight up, y'all. I am not worried one iota about the return game for LSU. One of my earliest memories, I mean vivid, I have other memories, but one of my earliest, most vivid memories, sitting in Tiger Stadium, east side, about the 10-yard line, 1994, LSU's playing Mississippi State, and this happened.
Waiting on the snap. Oh, it's high, but LSU has on just a token rush, and he gets a good kick away. And Kinnison will let it bounce. Oh, he fielded it and stepped in the end zone. Or did he? Now he's going to run it back out. Kinnison comes to the near side 50. He could go all the way. He only needs one block, and he gets it. He's going to take it the distance. 100 yards.
Eddie Kennison, 100 yards against Mississippi State, and you thought to yourself, my goodness, when Eddie Kennison left, how could it possibly be any better? I don't know. Maybe because you had the greatest returner in the history of the Southeastern Conference waiting in the wings in Kevin Falk.
Hunter Smith sends it deep, returnable, and it's Falk at the 12. He's got blockers. He has blockers. 40, 50, stumble, and that could cost him the touchdown. Smith, can he catch him? No! How about that for an answer, Kevin Falk? Oh, my!
I was at that one as well. That was 1998 in South Bend against Notre Dame. We could talk about 96 against Houston, the punt return to start the fourth quarter when LSU rallied. Y'all all know it. Kevin Falk was an all-purpose All-American in 1996 because he's the greatest all-purpose yardage gainer the SEC has ever seen. So what in the world are you going to do when Kevin Falk leaves? I don't know. Maybe Dominic Davis for 4 years, who became an NFL player as well and was a freak show returner, and then you have him for 4 years and think, my goodness, now what can you possibly do? I don't know. How about the kid from Higgins, Skylar Green?
And the kick is away. Wilbur, second on the SEC, averaging 43.6. Deep is Skylar Green at the 20. Green upfield on the 25, makes the man miss to the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. He's going to go all the way. See you later. Skylar Green, touchdown on a punt return.
The only game LSU lost in its 2003 national championship season was at home against Florida. The only touchdown LSU scored in that game was that punt return from Skylar Green. So Skylar Green holds it down, becomes a great All-American at LSU. Surely it can't get any better than that. Oh, wait. The fastest player in the history of LSU football walked through the doors and held it down for the next 4 years.
All right, here is the advance of the ball. And that is returnable, and it is Holiday at the 10. And he splits it to the outside, and he may go! Midfield, 45-40, they're not going to get him. Do you believe this? He returns it for a touchdown!
That, of course, was Trendon Holiday, and when you got the fastest player in the history of your program returning kicks and punts for 4 years, what can you possibly do better than that? It can't get any better, can it? Oh, how about a top 5 pick in Patrick Peterson?
Going to drive back to the 40-yard line. 45, 50. He's got one man to beat. Gets the block. He's going to score. Patrick Peterson. That's going to be from 60 yards.
And he struck the Heisman pose after housing that one against West Virginia. Hey, look, you got a top 5 pick who followed up the fastest guy in the history of the program, who followed up an All-American and the greatest returner ever before him. Like, certainly you're going to hit a speed bump, right? The Honey Badger said, no, I got this.
Oh, another dandy. Matthew backs up, grabs it at the 38-yard line. Looks for a little blocking help, gets it. Breaks a tackle, cuts left. Avoids a teammate. Heads for the corner, and he's done it again.
I mean, surely, when you go back to back to back to back to back to back to back great returners, eventually you're just going to stink and you're going to run out of luck, right? I mean, it's the Honey Badger. I mean, he's the most dynamic player, most dynamic season any of us had ever seen. Who could you possibly put back there after the Honey Badger did it? How about Odell Beckham?
Here it comes. He's got a long leg. No. Beckham is going to try and return this. Odell Beckham.
40, 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, 50. 50, He got the corner. He's got blockers. One man to beat. Touchdown, Odell Beckham.
And you went from Odell to Tre'Davious White, who became a first-round draft pick, to DJ Chark, who housed two of them in the 2017 season, including the dandy against Auburn that brought them out of the depths of despair.
Marshall's punt in the air. Chark coming up, now backpedaling, fields it at the 25 near side. Now goes to the far side of the field, has some blockers in front of him. He's to the 40, 45, down the far sideline, 35, 30, 25, 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown Tigers!
Okay, so we got to forget about 2018 because that was when they thought Jonathan Giles could play. Okay, so let's just forget about 2018 for a minute, all right? Just forget about 2018, and if you're going to turn the page from 2018 to 2019, Derek Stingley Jr. ain't a bad option as a freshman back there returning kicks and punts for you. And then, of course, the last 2 years, it's been Trey Palmer, who now Richard Condon can die a happy man because for the first time since Eric Martin against Kentucky in 1981, LSU returned a kickoff for a touchdown in Tiger Stadium, and it was Trey Palmer who did the honors.
On the dead run, fumbling the ball is Trey Palmer. Picks it up. Now he's got no momentum. Still finds a crease. Trey Palmer gets loose. Turns the corner, gets to midfield. Can any Gamecock have an angle? They cannot. Touchdown.
I've got 30 years of evidence to suggest that Malik Nabers is going to be really good. So let me not worry about Malik Nabers on Sunday night against Florida State or any game subsequent this season. Let me just say congratulations to Malik Nabers on being the next in a long, illustrious line of freak show athletes that run fast and make dudes miss on your way to a decorated return career at LSU. All right. That was fun. I had a lot of fun going back and watching all those highlights today. It's a position I've never worried about. I mean, LSU's just always going to have one. Just go back there, catch it, and run real fast. Got it. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Great news today, man. We got confirmed that a gigantic commercial facility in Cleveland, Mississippi has hired HUDCO to do their roof replacement, their total roof replacement. So I tell you often, if it's roof repairs or roof replacements, if it's the smallest repair job at your home to the largest commercial re-roof, we can do it all at HUDCO Roofing. And, of course, you're calling a Louisiana company with Louisiana people using Louisiana products. We're thrilled to help. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Okay, it's after further review, y'all. The Saints had to cut their roster down to 53 yesterday. And as I always say, it's not the final 53, it's the first 53, and there have been roster moves today. We'll delve into it when we return on AFR.
AFR.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A trivia tonight at Plucker's, both locations, of course, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, at 8 o'clock at Nicholson, and they will be open, of course, Sunday night for the LSU game. So if you're looking for a place to watch, get by either Plucker's location. We'll go around the SEC in about 15 minutes. By the way, Taylor Calandro, 30 minutes from right now. So you can start to line up your booze questions for Taylor. Email me, tweet me, jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat, or you can text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We'll get to that shortly. The Saints and every NFL team cut their roster down to 53 on Tuesday. It's often referred to as the final 53. It is not. It is the first 53 because invariably on every single team, there are players who make the team on Tuesday that are not on the team on Wednesday because as players are waived or cut, they're signed by other teams. There has to be a corresponding move. That did happen in New Orleans today. But maybe the most interesting thing that happened with the Saints is, as Field Yates reported first here on Wednesday morning, the Saints and veteran tight end Nick Vannett agreed to a renegotiated deal that includes his base salary dropping from $2.6 million to $1.035 million. Notes that he's a sturdy run blocker, and the move does create about $1.5 million in cap space for the Saints. So, listen, when we look at the Saints roster right now, I think we can all readily agree that there are still holes. This is a very formidable Saints roster. Starting offensive line looks really good. You got a question at left tackle, but if James Hurst is healthy, I think you're good there. Most Saints fans are convinced Jameis is ready to take that step. You've obviously addressed dynamic receiving core, Kamara, Ingram at running back. I'd love someone else there. defensive line. You certainly need another defensive tackle. Your first couple of linebackers are really good, but you love depth there. You feel really good about your secondary. So the Saints, with that move, now have a little more than 7.5. According to Spotrac, they're at $7.675 million in cap space. So they have money to spend. They've got room to spend and money to spend right now to go out in free agency and add at these positions of need. So the big questions become, okay, where are those positions of need and what options are out there? You don't go restructure Nick Vanette without the intent of spending that money, right? There's just, it doesn't make sense to do it unless you have a purpose in mind. When the Saints every offseason start doing all their cap gymnastics to restructure deals and whatever to get up within the cap, it's why. And they're getting it within cap compliance and freeing up money to go spend in free agency. It's no different here with Nick Vanette. It's why they're doing this. The question is, why are they doing this? Which I'm certain we'll find out soon. The positions I mentioned that they still need help. Offensive tackle, I'd like to see a running back, certainly linebacker, and defensive tackle. Let's start with defensive tackle because Nick Underhill tweeted this earlier today. He's at Nick_Underhill. The Saints have worked out defensive lineman Vernon Butler and Kiki Kingsley. He notes it's possible opportunity there with injuries to Malcolm Roach and Albert Huggins. If you missed it, Roach today was placed on IR. They do expect he will return at some point this season, but he's starting the season on IR. So what are the possibilities? So Vernon Butler, if you remember, Vernon Butler went to Louisiana Tech, and he was a guy that the Saints really liked when he was coming out of Tech. In full disclosure, Vernon Butler trained over at Traction in Baton Rouge before the draft and the combine and got to know Vernon a little bit when he was working out there, and the Saints really, really liked him a lot. He was a first-round pick of the Carolina Panthers and spent 4 years in Carolina. The last 2 years he's been in Buffalo. He's only 28 years old. He's played in 76 games. He started 19 times. So Vernon Butler is a guy who it would make a lot of sense. You knows the division. You know him. And you've gotten to see him, obviously, as well. Had 6 sacks in 2019, but that really was the high water mark for him. And then he went to Buffalo after. He was traded there, actually. Kingsley spent 3 years in the NFL, all with the Green Bay Packers. He's 25 years old. He's played in 41 games with 17 starts. So those are two guys who might be more affordable for New Orleans if they want to add a veteran who has played to give you some depth, maybe a starting caliber player on your defensive front. Or you can do something that we've talked about Malcolm Brown as well. Brown was a guy on the Saints roster who was sort of a cap casualty last year when they traded him to Jacksonville. Jacksonville cut him, so he's a free agent, eligible to sign wherever, knows your defense. Coaches know him. They like him. He's been productive. I'd be fine with adding Malcolm Brown. I'm going to continue to throw out Ndamukong Suh's name until someone signs him. He has never missed a game in his career due to injury, including last year in Tampa. So he's still a highly productive player, and it's pretty obvious. At this point in his life, when he's in his mid-30s, Ndamukong Suh does not need training camp. He just needs to be in shape and ready to go wreck people when the season starts. So Ndamukong Suh did not sign with the team throughout camp. All indications are he still wants to play football. What would it cost? No doubt he wants to go to a winner. Maybe it's back in Tampa. But Ndamukong Suh, until he signs somewhere else, you've got to at least consider the possibility of adding Ndamukong Suh to that defensive line. And alongside David Onyemata and in that rotation, I would love to see that. That would be my preference. What would it cost? Could you get a deal done? Does he want to be in New Orleans? Do other contenders you potentially have a better shot at Ndamukong Suh? That's really the question that you'd have to ask right now. Offensive line is very obviously another big question for New Orleans because of the injuries that you've had at tackle. So today, the Saints claimed Tanner Owen off of waivers. Tanner Owen, you probably don't know the name, and that's okay. Tanner Owen played collegiately at something called It's a directional school in Missouri. Hang on. I've got it somewhere here, buried in my show prep. Tanner Owen played at Northwest Missouri State. Undrafted rookie free agent, played left tackle at Northwest Missouri State a year ago, has played both tackle and guard, undrafted free agent with Buffalo. They waived him. The Saints put in a waiver claim. A waiver claim, though, remember, you can't sign him to the practice squad. You got to add him to the 53. So somebody who made the 53-man roster on Tuesday is not on the team today because the Saints claimed Tanner Owen, so somebody had to be waived, and we don't know who that is just yet. As of right now, 3:25 Central Time on Wednesday. But that's great for depth. Let me ask you this question point blank. If something were to happen to James Hurst, are you okay with Tanner Owen being your starting left tackle? I'm not. You've got to go add a veteran offensive tackle. You want Tanner Owen to be a versatile swing piece? Fine. Unless if your option is if something happens to Hurst, you're moving Pete to left tackle and Calvin Throckmorton plays guard for you. If that's the case, okay, you did that a year ago. One that would be likely, potentially, is bringing back Jordan Mills. Jordan Mills is this guy who's been in the division before, and he played for you a year ago. Last year, Jordan Mills played in 10 games with 3 starts for the Saints amid all of that absurd circulation with all the injuries that the Saints had on the offensive line. But in his career, Jordan Mills has played in 100 games with 87 starts. That's an option for New Orleans, no doubt. You could go re-sign Jordan Mills, who's still a free agent, and that would make some sense. Again, there's familiarity there, and he's a guy that would seamlessly step in, played for you a year ago, and theoretically could play for you again right now. If you didn't go Jordan Mills and you wanted to add another veteran free agent, the list of available tackles is long. We talked earlier this week about Alex Leatherwood. When the Raiders waived Leatherwood, a former first-round pick, the Bears claimed Leatherwood on waivers. If you're not familiar how waivers work, any team can put in a waiver claim on a player, but the order goes basically in draft order. So the Saints are 18th in the pecking order for waiver claims. So a player would have to be passed on by 17 teams before the Saints could put in a waiver claim and get a player. That's what happened with Tanner Owen. Even if they wanted Alex Leatherwood, the Bears were much higher, and so the Bears put a claim in on Leatherwood, and they were awarded his rights. If you look at some of the free agents that are available, there's at the NFL's website, there's 113 free agent tackles available. At the top of the list are guys like Nate Solder, Brian Balaga, Eric Fisher, Darrell Williams, Marcus Cannon, Zach Banner, Brandon Shell. I mean, there's some names on there that are very familiar names, guys that are long in the tooth, late in their career, that have played a lot of football. But if you're just looking for someone who could be a backup option for you if something were to happen to James Hurst with Trevor Penning out, a lot of these guys make a lot of sense. The question is, are those guys content to come to New Orleans to be a backup, a reserve option? Don't know. That's why Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen will go make these decisions. But you have a lot of options there. Sony Michel, running back, is one we've talked about a lot. We've talked a lot about Sony Michel whenever the Saints initially worked him out after he left the Rams, and he ultimately signed with Miami. He was released earlier this week by Miami. I said earlier this week the Saints need to get on the phone immediately. Unfortunately, that's not an option. Sony Michel has signed with the Los Angeles Chargers. So last year with the Rams, he's going right back to SoFi, and Sony Michel is going to play for the Chargers. So the Saints may be content. They signed Abram Smith to their practice squad. They may be content to go into this season with Alvin Kamara, knowing that his punishment is likely to be delayed to 2023, and aging Mark Ingram, and then, guys like Tony Jones Jr. or Dwayne Washington, who's certainly a special teams ace, but a guy that can give you reps at running back in a pinch. I don't love that possibility, but they may be content there. The other question, and maybe the biggest at this point, is linebacker. And that's the trickiest one because I don't know that they have great options right now. We love Demario Davis. Arguably the second best free agent signing in Saints history, certainly in this era, behind only Drew Brees. Demario Davis has been magnificent. And the Saints were confident enough in Pete Werner to let Quan Alexander walk. Werner apparently is getting closer to health, and that's great. And I think as a number 3, as a backup, they like Caden Ellis. But they let an awful lot of talented guys, they waived an awful lot of talented guys. Guys that we've seen play a lot of football. And, I don't know that I'm good with this being your 5 linebackers that you're going into the season opener with. It's Davis and Warner. Ellis is your number 3, and you're followed up with Bond and Dowell. We saw Dowell play linebacker last year at a pinch, and he wasn't good. Special teamer? Sure. You need him to play starting snaps? No. And Zach Bond has never found a home in this defense. So you got 3. If anybody gets hurt, you're in trouble. So they could be looking for linebacker help as well. Opener's a week from Sunday. You got your first 53. You got a great core. But if you're going to be a championship contender, these final few pieces are the thing that could ultimately be the determining factor what gets you there. You got to add depth at offensive tackle. You got to add another defensive tackle and interior lineman as well. A linebacker would be great. I'd love to see some depth or another capable body at running back. But the Saints, they're close. They're close, but they still have work to do. Okay, quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Taylor in 15 minutes or Bourbon Dictionary. If you're wondering, I will circle back at the top of hour 2. So 30 minutes from right now, I'll circle back and I want to talk about Ian Book. Because notably it's a quarterback, and after 1 year, he's done in New Orleans. The Saints waived him, and then the Eagles put in a waiver claim. So Ian Book is now a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Saints got 1 year out of their 4th-round pick, and he's gone. So I do want to talk about that. We'll go through all of the practice squad additions for the Saints. Well, a lot of Saints roster stuff today. We'll do that in 30 minutes from right now. Glad you're with us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Every day I tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana. What if you could save money like so many of the people I've told you about over the years? Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. It is so easy. Give them a call or log on. Matter of fact, my 89-year-old grandfather, texted me earlier today and said, "Hey, Uncle Bruce, they're not happy with their insurance. Who's the company that you have that shops around?" Insurance Network of Louisiana. This AFR listener named Kim saved $1,619 on home and auto combined. They had good coverage. They were just overpaying. They also were able to lower their hurricane deductible from $2,400 to $1,000. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and...
Asked if he kind of reversed course, if he originally planned on naming a starter and then decided not to.
I don't know if I changed my mind as much as I looked at it maybe a little bit differently in terms of both quarterbacks, competing at such a high level and the competition being so close that my focus was not on Florida State as much as it was on these two guys. And then when it was time to talk to the guys, it just, for me, as we thought about it, we were so close to the game, it didn't make any sense for me to, tip that off. So, again, I think it was just a different perspective and looking at it a little bit differently than maybe I did 3, 4, 5 months ago.
One of the things that we didn't ask Brian on Monday, and he wasn't asked today on the teleconference, and full disclosure, I was not on the teleconference earlier today, is whether or not he's told the players. The assumption would be that he has, but he hasn't said that publicly either. And B.J. Ojulari met with reporters on Tuesday night, and he kind of clarified that the players don't know.
It's a question that everybody wants to know. We still don't know. Only the coaches know. But both quarterbacks are very qualified and very good and talented to lead us to the championship and lead us to win games. So they're both very able. And to be honest, when game day comes, both of them are very able to be the starter. So it's not even one person is better than the other.
So believe what you want, but I'll take B.J. Ojulari at his word that the players don't know. And if you're Brian Kelly and you're sincere about keeping this under wraps and not letting people find out and you think it's a tactical advantage, well, the more people you tell, the more likely it is to get out. You tell your team, well, you've got 110 football players, 105 football players that could go tell a girlfriend or a parent or a relative, and then it leaks out and seeps out, and then it becomes something that's becomes common knowledge. So I'll take them at their word that they don't know, and maybe as they get closer to kickoff, they'll find out. But we'll have another opportunity to talk to Brian Kelly Thursday night after practice. Then he has his coach's show, so maybe he'll clarify there as well. Look, we told you yesterday, man, Vegas bettors are hammering the LSU over the win total of 7. Football season's here. You want to bet on it? The DraftKings Sportsbook lets you do it. New football season is about to begin. Of course, you can bet on any college game, and DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And DraftKings is celebrating the return of football, giving new customers an opportunity. If you bet just $5 on any football game, again, bet just $5 on any football game, you will get $200 in free bets instantly. If you want more action for opening night a week from tomorrow, Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings with their early win promotion. You can get up 7, bet on any NFL team. Any NFL team. If your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, use the promo code Baton Rouge. You got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. So, bet just $5, get 200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. But you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. One per new customer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as 8 $25 free bets. Restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Excellence in imaging solutions. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Lane Kiffin made no revelations during the SEC teleconference on Wednesday. He's still not made a quarterback decision. The battle rages on with Luke Altmaier and Jackson Dart. Kiffin said it's not a situation where he's trying to gain a competitive advantage. He still doesn't know and hasn't decided who the starting quarterback will be. Ole Miss will kick off the season on Saturday at 3 o'clock against Troy.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn's first-year offensive coordinator Eric Keesaw will serve as the offensive play caller. Brian Harsin confirmed that Wednesday during the SEC coaches teleconference. Keesaw was promoted to offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in the spring after spending last year as wide receivers coach. Of course, Mike Bobo was the OC and handled play calling last year at Auburn. Keesaw has been a coordinator before at Colorado, Washington, Kansas, and Fresno State.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vandy running back Maurice Edwards and linebacker Daniel Martin no longer part of the team. That's confirmed by Clark Lee. Martin was a 4-star recruit, the highest-rated commit in Vanderbilt's 2022 class, signed early with the program as well. Edwards was a 3-star recruit. Neither played in the opener against Hawaii, but both were expected to be big contributors going forward.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And Carolina is becoming the first major college athletic department to partner with a sports marketing agency to establish an in-house NIL firm. South Carolina hired Everett Sports Management to launch Park Avenue. It's a 2-year, $2.2 million contract. Park Avenue will bring deals to student athletes, and they'll help facilitate those deals through the university, and student athletes will get the entire deal. The first of its kind, and it is an exclusive in the SEC for 2 years. Carolina also has 2 external NIL collectives in addition to this new contract that they've signed. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, celebrating 45 years in business. Look them up online at gcopnet.com. Gulf Coast Office Products, you know they're fired up about LSU season getting started. The last 20 years, this is year 20 of Gulf Coast Office Products being an official partner of LSU athletics. They love to support the home teams. It's the LSU Tigers, the ULL Raging Cajuns, the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Pelicans, an official corporate partner of all of the local teams. That's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro is coming up. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary when we return on AFR.
AFR.
Sunday, of course, it's LSU, Florida State. Eagle 98.1 Game Day is going to be live from Rouse's on Barone. That'll be Muse and Hanny doing the honors on Eagle 98.1 Game Day. T-Bob and I, however, will have an appearance from 1 to 3. Then we got to jet back to BR to do Whiskey and Wine after the game. But Rouse's on Barone this Sunday, Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Rouse's on Burbank is the home of Eagle 98.1 Game Day all throughout the season. So thrilled to have such a great coverage on your Purple and Gold Saturdays, and in this case, your Purple and Gold Sunday at Rouse's all throughout the year. And, of course, Rouse's is an official partner in the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. So if you're getting that game watch, that tailgate, everything you need, remember that it's easier than ever with your own personal shop-up with curbside and delivery options at Rouse's. Download the app, go to rouses.com, select your items. Your personal shopper will take care of the rest. Rouses.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. thrill at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
Wrapping up hour number 1. Glad to have Taylor Calandro with us. Talk some booze. Get your questions in. You know how to get them. Email us, tweet us, text us. Lots of ways to get involved in the show. Taylor joins us now. How are you, man?
Fabulous. It's game week, Matt.
Are you fired up?
Very. We're going to New Orleans Saturday. I'm pumped.
What are you going to do down there?
I don't know. Probably indulge in the local libations a little bit, if I had to guess.
Good. What's new over at the store?
We have George Dickel 13-year bottled and bond, which is they've released it a few times now, a few different releases. But the first couple we had in our raffle. It is now on the shelf. It's a $55 bottle. It's really, I tried the one from last year. It's awesome. It's a bottle and bond. It's 100 proof. Like I said, it's been hard to find. I think it is still hard to find. We have that on the shelf right now. We also got a new Penelope. It's called, it looks like Tokashi on the label, but I think you pronounce it Tokoi. Which is Tokoi is a Hungarian wine, Swedish wine. Finishing that, I haven't got a chance to try it. I've heard good things about it, but that's $90. So we have those two things.
Hey, go back to the Dickel for a second. Normally, it's the other way. Like, things are on the shelf, they get hard to find, then they end up in the raffle because they're rare and allocated. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Oh, there's like things clanking around and smashing around back.
That's my 16-month-old.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right,
Okay.
I'll move rooms.
No, by all means, be a good parent. Be an attentive parent. Anyway, but so what's happened with that Dickel to where it's gone from the raffle to now you can find it?
Well, I mean, we've gotten a little bit more than we normally get, and man, to be honest with you, the whiskey market's kind of cooled off a little bit. I wouldn't say completely cooled off by any means, but it's kind of cooled off a little bit. I think it's indicative of the economy and what we're dealing with right now.
Sure.
So look, if you've got the extra funds right now, and I don't think we're the only place, there is whiskey on the shelf.
Okay, good to
know.
There
is harder to find whiskey sitting on shelves, at least at Calandro's, and I would not be surprised if it's at other places too.
What do you have on the shelf right now?
Well, the Dickel being one thing. I
Okay.
mean, there's random little things, and I'd look for things in the next couple of days too.
Okay. Good tip, man. Good tip. Okay, let's get some questions here. You know how to get them in. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Buy Ford YouTube chat. You can text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Oh, you will love this one. Dustin Blanchard asked Taylor, what is a good aged rum to sip on for under $50?
I'm going to go with the old standby, Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva. It's almost $50 now. It started at like 7-8 years ago. It was around the $30 range. It just keeps going up and up and up. It's sweet. So if you don't like sweet, I would kind of steer away from that. If you want to go for something that is more traditional, not as sweet, kind of bourbony, I would look for like a Florida Cognac of some sort.
I know you love rum, so yes. I figured you'd like that one. David Huval, he sent this last week. I don't know if I asked it to you. Just sent it again. Best Stein's Deli sandwich. You got a favorite?
Oh yeah, the Sam, no doubt about it. It's corn. I think it's corned beef or pastrami and coleslaw.
All right.
Outstanding. Stein's is on Magazine Street, New Orleans.
All right. So I don't know if that was someone who knew. It was teeing it up for you. Adam.
Well, there's a backstory with that. Stein's has an unbelievable craft beer selection, so it's kind of alcohol related.
Okay. Adam Whidden said, what happened to Booker's? 2022 was disappointing.
I haven't got to try Booker's, and I don't even know how long. We don't get enough for us to even keep it. So that is actually surprising to hear that there's a Booker's batch that's not any good. I wonder which batch he's talking about.
He said 01, so I guess batch 1.
Yeah, I would say about batch 1. I mean, we just put some Bookers out a couple weeks ago. I don't know what batch it was. I can't keep up with all that.
Scott Pataro asked Taylor, he said, Stellum, the single barrel, Lyra, or the cash strength rye, which is better?
So Stellum is a barrel bourbon product. I've tried the bourbon. I've tried the rye. They're both very good. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. I would lean towards the bourbon. I like barrel bourbon more than everything.
Jim Bob asked Taylor, any clue when Stag Jr. will be out again?
Oh, my God. Maybe in the raffle. No clue. I don't think we got any Stag Jr. last year. It's been over a year since we've received Stag Jr. We've gotten more George T. Stag than Stag Jr. over the last year and a half.
You have any George T. Stag?
No, not right now, but I'm just saying, to put it in perspective,
No, I know.
I think we have gotten either the same amount or a little more George T. Stag than we have Stag Jr.
Let's see, Patrick Comiskey, we got a little more than a minute. Asked Taylor, I got hooked on Irish whiskey during the pandemic. Tullamore Dew is my brand of choice for the price. How can I treat myself to another Irish whiskey?
Go for Redbreast. Start with Redbreast 12 and work up from there. They go 12, 15, 20, I think, 21, and 27. And they have a cash strength 12. Anyway, start with the regular Redbreast 12. It is outstanding. It's one of my favorite Irish whiskeys.
Greg Lehman said, ask Taylor, when does the whiskey market crash come?
Really good question. The whiskey market right now is weird. When it's the crash, I don't know. The whiskey market's just weird right now.
Okay.
That's a good question. I wish I knew, but that's a very good question I don't know the answer to.
I would love for it to crash, so that way I could buy the things that I really enjoy more readily.
Well, let me say this. I don't foresee it crashing anytime soon. It has slowed down.
He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Joins us every Wednesday for Bourbon Dictionary. Enjoy the weekend, man. Thanks for the time.
All right, man. Thanks. Good
All right. We'll see you. All right, it's After Further Review. Ian Book, gone from New Orleans. We'll talk about it next after SportsCenter.
AFR.
We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. I say it all the time. Great opportunity right now, maybe for a cash-out refinance. You could use your home's equity to take out some cash, do that home improvement project if that's what you're looking for. But just remember this. At GMFS Mortgage, they say it all the time, they want to be your lender for life. So for whatever reason, if you're looking for a lender, contact GMFS Mortgage first. They're our state's largest local lender. They've done billions in loans and helped hundreds of thousands of Louisianians. No matter what corner of the state you are in, there is a loan officer near you. So start at the website. Go to gmfsmortgage.com. That's gmfsmortgage.com. You'll see the loan officers tab right there at the top. Find the local loan officer near you, and they'll get you started toward whatever your financial goal is. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
I'm Christine Lisi. All eyes again on Serena Williams tonight at the U.S. Open for her second-round match in her final tournament before retiring. The 23-time Grand Slam champion faces the 2 seed, Annette Kontaveit. Based on what she showed in her opening match, Serena could certainly win tonight and extend her run at the U.S. Open, according to ESPN tennis analyst Mary Jo Fernandez.
I'm really impressed with how hard she's worked to try to finish on the best note possible. I mean, that was the best match we've seen her since starting her comeback at Wimbledon.
Easily.
Yes, she was much sharper. Her serve was firing. She had, I think, 9 aces in the match. Her movement got better.
Coverage of Serena's match is at 7 Eastern on ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Baseball White Sox manager Tony La Russa out indefinitely with an unspecified medical issue. Bench coach Miguel Cairo will manage on an interim basis while La Russa undergoes testing. The Orioles promoted top infield prospect Gunnar Henderson to the majors as they continue their push for a postseason spot. The 21-year-old will become the youngest Baltimore player to make his big league debut since Manny Machado a decade ago. He'll be eligible to play in the postseason.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Max, I know you got some issues with your eye.
Yeah.
You need to go get your brain checked next.
Do you understand genius is never understood? More from TJ and Max Thursday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. So, Matt, I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Russ Mitchell, a little more than an hour from right now, makes his triumphant return to AFR. We'll get to overrated, underrated, bottom of this hour, and we will, in about 15 minutes, I want to talk about what the LSU players had to say when they met with reporters yesterday. So, with the roster cuts that came and went yesterday, the Saints then have announced their practice squad. Every team, of course, can sign 16 players to the practice squad for New Orleans. Let's just run through very quickly the players that the Saints have added on their practice squad. And, of course, most notably, Ian Book was claimed off of waivers. So Ian Book's career in New Orleans is over. I'll get to that in just a quick second. The practice squad members for the New Orleans Saints, as announced by the team, are here you go. Josh Andrews, Taco Charlton, which is good to see that Taco Charlton who was cleared waivers and is now back with New Orleans. Dijene Dixon, DeMarcus Fields, Vincent Gray, Chase Hansen signed back on the practice squad. J.P. Holtz, tight end that they like a lot. Jordan Jackson, who was obviously a draft pick this year, who's been injured. Lucas Krull, the tight end out of Pitt, the undrafted free agent, is on the practice squad, as is Nick Martin. Kirk Merritt, who was one of the practice squad one of the training camp standouts this year, has been signed to the practice squad. Christian Ringo, who's a defensive lineman that has played a good bit for the Saints, they like a lot. Nafai Sewell, who was getting first team reps late in camp, has been added to the practice squad. Rashid Saheed has been added, as has Eric Wilson. So if they do need linebacker help, Eric Wilson is a guy who has played linebacker. He's been a Sunday player that he could certainly be promoted, as is Nafai Sewell. Chase Hansen, who got some run last year at linebacker with the Saints, but admittedly was not very good. But he's there as a potential backup option as well. So that's the Saints practice squad, those that were cut, waived, and then re-signed. The most notable roster move today was the Eagles putting in a waiver claim on Ian Book. Field Yates reported it first, and that means Ian Book's time in New Orleans is done after 1 year. If you're not sure how the process works, essentially, if you waive a player Any team can put in a waiver claim on a player, and it's basically awarded in order. So you start with whoever was. So Jacksonville would be first, and you'd go in order subsequent based on their what amounted to the draft order, the order of finish from a year ago. So the Saints are 18th in that order for waiver claims. They picked 12 when they took Olave, but remember they traded up twice to get there. So the Eagles claimed Ian Book, and certainly the Saints were hoping that Ian Book would clear waivers. No team would claim him, and then he would be able to be added to the practice squad, and they could be a developmental player. We talked about it last week when I very overtly claimed you should be cheering against Ian Book in that final preseason game. And I meant it. I mean, not in a literal sense, but in the sense that you want him to not perform well, so there's less of a chance that a team would put in a waiver claim on Ian Book so he could clear waivers, sign him to the practice squad, and maybe continue allowing him to develop. But that was not the case. Clearly, Philadelphia liked Ian Book enough to claim him off of waivers, which means he takes up one of their 53-man roster spots. So their three quarterbacks now are Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew, and Ian Book. They will carry three quarterbacks. I know a lot of the reaction today from Saints fans is going to be about Ian Book and how this is a wasted draft pick and a lot of disappointment, which no doubt there's disappointment, and there's justifiable disappointment. You used a 4th-round pick on this guy, and he didn't perform for you a year ago. Now, in total fairness, there's not a quarterback in the NFL that could have beaten the Dolphins on that Monday Night Football game with the roster Ian Book had. I mean, sort of infamously, the story goes that players were sort of introducing themselves in the locker room because they were just cobbling together a roster because the whole thing had been completely gutted because of COVID. So I don't hold that Monday Night Football game against Ian Book. I do hold the fact that he stunk in 2 preseasons against Ian Book. And the possibility that maybe he's just not going to ever be a good NFL quarterback. It's not to say that you judge a player entirely based on a couple of preseasons, but you got to show some improvement such to allow a team to think you valuable enough to keep you. The problem is, especially with quarterback, is you keep a man on one of your guys on a 53-man roster, on game days, if he's active, which most likely he would not be, but everyone has to contribute, and those roster spots are too valuable. I mean, as much as I rant and rave about, Traquan Smith, the point being, they will use Traquan Smith on game day. I don't like him, but clearly the Saints do and still feel like he's got a purpose on game day. And look, sometimes you just miss. And Ian Book is just a miss. That's all there is to it. So you cut your losses, you move on. And this is just going to get more attention because he's a quarterback. And look, I'm okay taking a quarterback in round 4. You take your shot. We're going to talk a lot, not just this year, but in the future, about Ian Book as a 4th-round miss because he's a quarterback. You know who we don't talk about? Rick Leonard. He's a 4th-round pick. Didn't make the team his rookie year. You know who we don't talk about? Kyrie Fort. He was a 4th-round pick. Didn't make the team. You know who we don't talk about? Stanley Arno and Chip Vaughn. Remember the Wake Forest teammates that got drafted back-to-back picks back in 2009? They both stunk. Now, we do talk about Antonio Pittman, who was also a 4th-round pick, but that's only because of the synergies with Pierre Thomas. They cut Antonio Pittman as a rookie 4th-round pick and kept Pierre Thomas. So you take your shot on a quarterback sometimes because what if it's Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins was a 4th-round pick, y'all. I get it, it's an outlier. What if Gardner Minshew was a 6th-round pick? Was that worth it? The guy's become a good NFL quarterback. I'm not telling you he's ever going to be a Pro Bowl caliber player, but he has started, and he's certainly a very capable backup. I mean, throughout the history of the league, there's examples of guys who are mid or late round picks who become good players. Not everybody's Tom Brady. Of course, Tom Brady's but not just Tom Brady. Y'all realize Roger Staubach was a 10th round pick Bart Starr was a 17th round pick. I mean, there are those throughout history that were late round picks that became great players. But, like, the Saints took Mark Bulger out of West Virginia in 2000 in the 6th round. Mark Bulger became a starter in the NFL. It's why you take those guys, if you feel like you've got an appropriate draft grade on them and they're there. I mean, Mark Brunell was a 5th round pick. Rich Gannon became an MVP. He was a 4th round pick. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. He was a 9th round pick out of Florida State. I mean, there's others. Matt Hasselbeck. Matt Hasselbeck was a playoff quarterback in Seattle. He was a 6th round pick. Mark Rippon won a Super Bowl. He was a 6th round pick. I mean, there are those examples throughout history, which is why if there's a guy on the board, and it's quarterback, and you have an appropriate grade, and you're interested, it's okay to take that player. More often than not, though, it's not going to work out. But more often than not, it's not going to work out for players at any position in those, in the 4th round when you get mid-late rounds. And look, yeah, man, I mean, there are times where, Jermon Bushrod was a 4th round pick. That worked out great for New Orleans. And sometimes those do work out. Sometimes you hit big. And sometimes you bust. But, man, you could look through the history of the NFL draft and look at guys that were mid-round picks and see teams that took a shot on guys at certain positions. Like, remember Kyle Lauletta from Richmond? He was a 4th round pick of the Giants. Quarterback out of Richmond. 4th round pick of the Giants back in 2018. Took their shot. Didn't make it. Okay. You move on. So, I don't mind that they took Ian Book. They liked the player. They had an appropriate grade on him. They took him in round 4. It didn't work. Neither did Rick Leonard. Okay, on to the next. You're good at quarterback right now. You'll have to address it again in the future. And next year, if there's a guy somewhere along the draft that they want to take a shot on, take him. And you'll live with the results if you believe your scouting is good. And the Saints' scouting has been good, and they deserve the benefit of the doubt with it. It's unfortunate that Ian Book didn't work out. We're just putting way more attention on it because of the position he plays. So Ian Book, the Saints waived him. No doubt we're hoping to sign him to the practice squad, but he did not clear waivers. Ian Book is now a Philadelphia Eagle. The Saints did claim former Bills guard Tanner Owen off of waivers. So I don't know. I need to check, and we'll check in the break. Unless Muse, do you know what the corresponding move was? Have they named that? See if you can find it for me, please. I don't know if the Saints have announced the corresponding move yet. But in claiming Tanner Owen off of waivers, the Saints had to let a player go. So waiting to see who that player is, and if we get that update, we'll certainly pass it along to you. Okay, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Brought to you by Pluckers. Great night to get by Pluckers. Obviously, trivia every Wednesday, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. General knowledge trivia. Every team gets to spin the prize wheel, so every team wins something, even if you don't win a round. That's at Pluckers every single Wednesday for trivia. Next week, by the way, is Jeopardy night for Pluckers trivia, so we'll look forward to that. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out. You need your eye exam, Williamson Eye Center. You want to buy glasses? Buy a pair, get a second pair, 50% off for their back-to-school special right now at the Williamson Eye Center. Or if you want to ditch those contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can make it happen with a refractive procedure that's perfect for you. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. All right, it's after further review. Dennis Allen is meeting with the media as we speak, so if anything notable comes out of that, we'll let you know. We'll knock out a quick break when we come back. LSU, Florida State, it is a sellout Sunday night in the Dome. The team captains for the LSU Tigers met the media last night. Some of what they had to say previewing LSU, Florida State. That's coming up next on AFR.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
There is a little breaking news around college football. Ross Dellinger reporting the NCAA Board of Directors, which are meeting. They did indeed approve the transfer portal windows and changes to the infractions process. So they've eliminated the IARP. That was the independent review board, which did the exact opposite of what it was intended to do. It only slowed the process and made it far more complicated, and nobody really cooperated. So it was just a challenge. But the transfer portal windows is something a lot of fans have wanted to see. which means you've defined when players can enter the portal. They cannot enter the portal at any time now. We don't know what those definitions are yet, but there will be designated windows when players can enter the portal. So that will certainly lead to less chaos than what we've seen around college football with the portal. And the other thing, and this will probably interest you far more, is the college football playoff presidents on Friday are expected to meet and determine whether or not they will expand the college football playoff. It is expected that they will expand to 12 teams by 2026, and there is the possibility that they could elect to expand earlier, maybe even as soon as 2024. But it has to be unanimous. The vote to expand by 2024 has to be unanimous. So if everybody's not on board, it would delay to 2026. Ross reports that if it's not unanimous and college football playoff expansion is delayed until 2026, it would cost college football collectively $450 million in gross additional revenue from the 16 playoff spots from the 2024 and 2025 seasons. That's insane. Insane. If to think about $500 million in additional revenue if they go 2 additional years of the current format instead of expanding before 2026. So Friday, we should have that answer from the College Football Playoff Committee if they're going to, or the Board of Directors, if they're going to expand earlier than 2026. But it is expected it will be at the latest at 2026, if not prior. But they do have to settle also on a format and other rules. Will there be automatic qualifiers, all that sort of stuff. So Friday will be a pretty pivotal day in the future of the postseason of college football. All right, it's after further review. The LSU Tigers will kick off their first season under Brian Kelly Sunday in the Dome. That is a sellout. Now, it's interesting. I was actually listening to I haven't seen this reported anywhere else, but I was listening to Jimmy Ott on his show earlier this week, and he reported that Florida State sold its allotment of 30,000 tickets. They announced that several weeks back, maybe months back even. But Jimmy reported that Florida State did a deal with a ticket brokerage. So effectively, the brokerage is selling the tickets on behalf of the school with a rev share, however that may work. I don't know how their contract may work, but essentially what that tells you is that wasn't 30,000 Florida State fans buying tickets. That's all the tickets that you're likely seeing flooded on the secondary market. And that means I was at least curious if Florida State fans had gone and bought 30,000 seats, because if they did, remember, the Superdome as it's configured now, since they've expanded, they've shrunk capacity to 68,000. So the Dome capacity is 68,000. If you had 30,000 Florida State fans, you're talking about a 50-50 split, essentially, or maybe 60-40 LSU. It don't sound like there's going to be 30,000 Florida State fans in the Dome. One of the reasons that LSU has been so massively successful in that building is because they've just had a crowd advantage. It's a de facto home game. The last 8 times that LSU has played in that building, they've won 7 of 8. The only loss, of course, is the one that is basically a curse word, a date we all remember. It's etched in our mind. But LSU's had just such an insane home field advantage in that building that they've just been able to win more often than not when they play there. And I suspect that'll be the case again this weekend when they do go take the field in the Dome against Florida State. Brian Kelly on the coaches teleconference today did lead off by talking about the challenge against Florida State.
Our guys are ready for the challenge. It's certainly like every other coach. We get into this time of the year where, the excitement of that first game is there. You can see it in our practice, and we're looking forward to going to New Orleans, playing in front of what will be obviously a home crowd for us, and I know our guys are excited about this challenge.
The biggest challenge that we've talked about for both teams is going to be each team's offensive line trying to hold up against the opponent's defensive line. And I understand that if you're an LSU fan, which by the nature of the fact you're listening to this, I'm assuming that you are. If you're an LSU fan, you are assuming that your offensive line, that everything's going to work out, that the offensive line is going to be fine, all the moves they made. Campbell is a true freshman, is going to be a stud. Dellinger is going to be the best center we've ever seen. Cam Wires played a bunch. Now he's at right tackle. Bradford's a big mauler. He's going to be an All-American on the inside. Of course, you got Miles Frazier, who was freshman All-America a year ago, playing left guard now. It's going to be awesome. Or maybe it could be not awesome. And this is a gigantic challenge. But the opposite is also true. Florida State, which ran for 400 yards against Duquesne last week, the more folks close to that program that I've talked to, they recognize how big of a challenge LSU's defensive front is going to be for their offensive line. They played bully ball against Duquesne, and they will get Maurice Smith back this week. That's their starting center, who did not play last week. So their first-team offensive line will be whole against LSU, which it was not against Duquesne. They intentionally held Maurice Smith out to make sure he would be available for this game. But, it was interesting. B.J. Ojolari and Ali Gay and Mike Jones, the three team captains, met with reporters yesterday, and Ojolari talked about that defense, man, and the defensive line in particular, and he kind of validated what we've said all along about this defensive line.
In my opinion, we're going to be the best unit on the field. I told the D-line, if we don't go, the defense doesn't go, the team doesn't go. So we have a very, very high standard to perform, and I believe that we're going to deliver.
And he also talked about Mason Smith, who, if there is a candidate on defense that's primed for the big breakout year, it's got to be Mason Smith.
Yeah, Mason, me personally, he's one of my favorites. Just watching the dude play is like no other. Like the violence and the aggression and the dominance he brings to the game is like no one else. He's gonna have an amazing season this year. Just the progression that he had from last year to this year is out of this world. Like he's one of those players that you see once every 10 years. So just being able to play with him, alongside him is gonna be so beneficial to me and the whole defense.
That's B.J. Ojolari, who, along with Mike Jones and Ali Gay, were named team captains. And not named team captains. This was voted on by their teammates. So interesting that it's 3 defensive players and 3 defensive front 7 players as well. When Brian Kelly was on the teleconference on Wednesday, he did talk about those 3 players being named captain.
I had our team vote, and so they were the highest vote getters in terms of ballots cast. So it was pretty clear that those 3 guys had the respect of their peers, and I wanted that to be the case in this first year, that our team got an opportunity to weigh in. And then it was scattered from an offensive perspective. We had probably 15 guys on offense getting votes, so I felt the best way to do it was to nominate somebody from week to week on the offensive side of the ball, so we would continue to gain the opportunity to build leadership on offense and give guys the opportunity to represent the offensive side of the ball as a captain as well.
Ideally, you hope that's one of your quarterbacks. I mean, whichever quarterback emerges as the starter, you hope becomes the leader of not only the offense but of the team and takes on that role. If it's Garrett Nussmeier or Jaden Daniels, whoever establishes himself. And I feel like I'm so ready for a game on Sunday because we have talked for 6 weeks. Since media days, we just talked. We've talked and talked and talked and talked, and I'm ready to play a game to see if all the stuff that we've talked about is either confirmed or disconfirmed or whatever it may be. But I've been very clear that I think Jaden Daniels takes the first snap. I've said that literally since the spring, and it looks like that's going to happen. I've also said for that same amount of time that I don't know if he's going to play well enough to keep the job, and I think both guys are going to play early in the season. So whichever it is, we'll see how it plays out starting on Sunday, but I would like to see one of those guys, either of them, emerge as a leader offensively and maybe even a team captain if it plays out that way. But the other guy they talked about was Ali Gay. And the most interesting part about Ali Gay, do you remember his first game at LSU against Mississippi State? It was the season opener of the COVID year. But he scored a touchdown. Remember, he didn't have an interception for a touchdown in that ball game. He ripped the ball away. I mean, it was crazy. Ryan Clark said right here, the Monday or the week after the game, and it was like, just if I was that kid's dad, I'd come on the field, take his pads off, go to the shower. You're going to the league. I mean, that's how. It was joking, of course, but that's how dominant he was in that opener. But he has just battled injury after injury in his seasons in Baton Rouge, and he's kind of been cut down. And Now here he's back for a third year in Baton Rouge when we thought, man, he'd be gone after the 2020 season. But Ali Gay's in great spirits about his decision to be here.
One of those things is just being coached, being demanded more. And I know in the past I was, it was a lot demanded of me, but not as much as I'm being demanded of right now because, the coaches see the kind of player I am and what more I can do. So, like I said, everything coming full circle with, nutrition, working out, off-season training, all of that. Everything came together, to keep me as healthy as possible and, be in the best position to perform. So I think everything has just come full circle. I made a great decision coming back.
Made a great decision coming back. You love to hear that. A veteran, a captain now, hopefully primed for a great season. We'll start to find out on Sunday in the Dome. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Pluckers. We'll knock out a quick break, come back, we'll do some overrated, underrated. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. We'll circle back to a little more of what Brian Kelly had to say in hour number 3. And Russ Mitchell here in 45 minutes. We'll preview the weekend ahead in the SEC. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Baton Rouge General Hospital expanding healthcare in the Baton Rouge area. You can learn more always at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. They do have some Labor Day closures, so you can find that out on their website if you're interested, brgeneral.org, like I tell you all the time. Baton Rouge General is expanding healthcare, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, clinical collaboration with your physician here and the experts at the Mayo Clinic, one of the foremost medical centers in the world. That's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Of course, the Regional Burn Center is at the Baton Rouge General Mid-City location. The Pennington Cancer Center at the Bluebonnet campus. The Ascension Neighborhood Hospital has its own emergency room, meaning in Ascension Parish now, you've got an ER closer to you than ever before. That's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. And I always mention the Express Care locations. Walk in, urgent care, 7 days a week in every corner of the town. It's Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more online at brgeneral.org.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner Care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner.
Hey, Cole.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So we now know the corresponding move for the New Orleans Saints. As we told you earlier, the Saints claimed Tanner Owen off of waivers. He's an undrafted rookie free agent who had been signed by the Buffalo Bills. He was a left tackle at I'll never remember this. Northwest Missouri State. So he was a left tackle at Northwest Missouri State, undrafted free agent, signed with the Bills after the draft, went through training camp with Buffalo. He was waived. Saints put in a waiver claim. So Tanner Owen is now a member of the Saints, but there had to be a corresponding move, and that corresponding move we've now learned from Nick Underhill is Dwayne Washington. So Dwayne Washington has been released. That is a little bit of a surprise. Not a great running back option, but he's been one of your special teams aces on all of your special teams units. So you could tell very much two things. Number one, how much they need offensive tackle depth, which they feel like they got with Tanner Owen, and also that they feel like their numbers are good on special teams. If they were willing to let Dwayne Washington go, they feel like they're good there. So at the top of hour 3, I'll come back to this because Dennis Allen met with the media. I want to reset a lot of what Dennis Allen had to say, not only that corresponding move there that we talked about, but also James Hurst's health. We have an update on that. Paulson Adebo as well. Got a lot of stuff that we'll get to as the Saints are a little more than a week out from their opener in Atlanta, September the 11th against the Falcons. So we'll get to that here shortly. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We're getting overrated, underrated in just a second, but remember, Windows Door Siding, ReliefWindows.com, energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, Hardy Plank vinyl siding, and the new showroom is open on Airline Highway in Prairieville. Easy drive, go south on Airline, you cross 42 into Prairieville, look to your right. I mean, it's just a couple hundred yards on the right. You cannot miss it. I mean, there's a gigantic Relief Windows sign on the side of the building. You cannot miss it. So check it out. It's a gorgeous facility. I'm so happy for Adrian and Brandon Holly. The way that they've grown that business, the work they've done for our community is awesome. So you can always just walk in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday to the Relief Windows showroom. You can always set an appointment or just walk in. ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com. Okay, Muse, overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
All right, Matt. Overrated or underrated? Ping pong.
You know who's underrated? Russ Mitchell. Every damn text to my text line today, every tweet and email is all, hey man, Russ coming on today? Every one of them.
He's also the subject of our Citizens Bank poll question today.
Oh, really? You want to go ahead and throw that out there?
Yeah. Which version of Russ Mitchell is your favorite? Of course, you had Pandemic Russ.
Okay.
Europe Russ, who we've seen a couple different times. And then today you'll meet Cabo Russ. So go vote at 1045 ESPN on Twitter.
I texted Russ last week just to make sure, like, hey, we're good to go. You good? I didn't get a response for several days, which is odd. Last night, he texted me this picture. Now, you can't see this if you're watching. I'm holding up the phone and showing Muse, but it's his feet over on a bed overlooking a beautiful sunset, an ocean-bound sunset with a fedora on the bed as well, in what looks like a palatial Cabo estate. He just sent me that picture. I'm like, where? He's like,
no context?
He's like, I'm in Cabo. I said, where are you? He said, I'm in Cabo with the fellas. Should be sober tomorrow. Not a guarantee. He's so stupid. But I'll tell you this, as we texted earlier today to prepare for the segment, he did text me this, and I will quote, "The natives are going to flip out after our segment."
Ooh. Right.
I don't know what he has in store. Russ and I have not talked a lick about college football in months. When he goes into hibernation, he means it. Like, he gone. What was your question?
Overrated or underrated ping pong?
Ping pong's overrated. We like ping pong, but ping pong is a game that not everybody can be good at. So I think it intimidates a lot of people. We think sometimes highly of ping pong because it's like a good, bar game or something the family can do, or it's in Forrest Gump when Forrest is in China and you're hitting the ball, back. But ping, I talk about this often. One of the reasons that, as much as I love Topgolf, a lot of people don't necessarily, is because not everybody can do it. Not everybody can swing a golf club and feel good about it. Bowling, probably underrated because put the bumpers on, anybody can throw the ball and you can maybe hit a few pins. It's a big difference there, man. So, ping pong, overrated.
Overrated or underrated?
Expensive, too. You got to buy the table, you got to buy paddles, you got to buy the ball. It's tough. Overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Mustard.
I think mustard is grossly underrated. My quick story, my father-in-law, my wife and her, she's one of 3 girls, in their brains, they are convinced that condiments are disgusting. My father-in-law, when he would want to discipline his daughters, would threaten to get the mustard. Their minds are warped because their mother doesn't like condiments, so they don't eat condiments. And it's just like condiments are off. And it's so bizarre to me, but mustard is very potent, and I understand that, but it is a wonderful accent to so many different things. I can eat mustard on a sandwich. I could dip sausage in mustard. There's so many great options for mustard that it's got a bad rap. Now, it is hard to get out of clothes. I'll tell you that. You get a mustard stain. That's a tough one. But mustard, underrated.
Overrated or underrated? Esports.
I think we've had this one before.
Have we?
Esports are disgustingly underrated. Because it's like any new technology. When older people say, "I don't get it," it doesn't matter if you get it. Kids do. There are esports leagues. There are kids who grow up wanting to play esports. There are professional esports leagues that are only growing in popularity exponentially every year. Muse, I'll make a prediction here at 4:42 on this Wednesday. You can remember this because I know you will. 10 years from now, you'll remember this in 10 years. We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
10 years from now, esports will be a top 5 sport in this country.
Okay. Interesting.
Massively I don't care. I haven't played a video game since Super Mario Brothers on Super Nintendo.
Maybe, a good one.
Maybe we had Mario Kart. Like, I haven't played a video game in 25 years. I think
Mario Party.
I think Madden 94 might have been the last video game I ever bought. I'm not a video game guy. But I'm well enough aware of what people are into to know esports. 10 years from now, when dudes that are 15 to 20 right now become 25 to 30, and it's a thing they've been doing for a decade, and they become the revenue, the money makers, and they move into that level. Go ahead, bro. Y'all get ready.
Overrated.
You heard Scone say it first.
At 4:42, it was at 4:42 since crossing the threshold. Mark the tape. Overrated or underrated? The outside refrigerator.
It's massively underrated. Everyone should have one. Everyone should have one. I don't know what we would do without our outside refrigerator. Your inside refrigerator doesn't get crammed when you do things outside. Like, we built our outdoor kitchen last year. We have a full-size refrigerator in the outdoor kitchen. Some people are like, "Oh, you have a full-size fridge?" Because most just do the little, beverage fridge. No. Full-size fridge. Have Drew's birthday party. You want the cake. Where are you going to put the cake? You put the cake in your inside fridge. It takes up a whole damn shelf in your inside fridge. No. Put it in the outside fridge. You having a party, you want to get beverages? We'll just have waters and Cokes and beers and stuff stocked in the outside fridge. And when it comes to open up the fridge, you don't need to go traipse inside, coming out of the pool. Outside fridge. Massively underrated. Everybody should have one. If you don't have an outside fridge, you should have an outside fridge.
That's overrated or underrated?
All right, this is after further review. We're going to knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros, and in about 15 minutes, we'll kind of reset all the Saints roster stuff today. There's been a ton, and Dennis Allen met with the media, so we'll let you hear from the head coach about 15 minutes from right now. Don't you move.
AFR.
Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine-in, carry-out, delivery via Uber Eats or DoorDash. And my goodness, Wednesday is an amazing night to get by Pluckers because every Wednesday is trivia. 5 rounds, live action trivia, win Pluckers gift cards, and remember, every single team, win or lose a round, every single team gets to spin the prize wheel. So you could win Pluckers food. You could win an Amazon gift card. You could win swag bags and other prizes from great local businesses around town. Trivia is a spot to be. Get your team together. No limit on the number of players you can have on your team. That's every Wednesday at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. It's trivia night, and you want to watch sports? Ain't no better place to be than Pluckers. Bluebonnet or Nicholson, you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Justin Reyes texted the show and said, hopefully Russ has gotten a new phone and the muffled sound from a year ago is gone. Tell him to stop being cheap. My dear friend Russ Mitchell is many things. Cheap is most certainly not one of them. I don't feel the need to elaborate. I mean, I do feel the need to elaborate, but I will restrain. Suffice to say, Russ Mitchell is not cheap. Musso has Tigers in the pros. There it is. There it was. Got it.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold.
Yeah, they do.
They're just really rich now.
Yeah, they
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
Yeah, it
Lee
is.
Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Sure thing.
All right, we have a few different NFL roster updates to get to. So let's start with Tre'Davious White. Trey White will start the season on the PUP list for the Bills. He will miss at least the first 4 games of the year, of course, recovering from a torn ACL. Injury there is Trey White, so he'll start on PUP.
That's a bummer.
Every LSU Tiger who was placed on waivers cleared waivers. So you have a bunch of them popping up on some practice squads. Danny Etling was signed to the practice squad for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Darren Evans signed to the practice squad for the New York Giants.
Darren Evans, the guy from Nichols
That
who
guy.
signed with LSU, couldn't play?
Yes.
Wow.
Practice
Good
squad.
for him.
How about that? You
Good
like
for
that?
him.
For the Cincinnati Bengals, Thad Moss and Tyler Shelvin both to the practice squad for Cincinnati. Damone Clark.
Dallas. But he's hurt.
He's hurt still, so he's kind of on
IR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last one that I had there was Damone Clark. So we'll keep you up to date. More practice squads. They'll all be finalized tomorrow. We can really go through it tomorrow.
So he's not on the practice squad. He's just on the reserve.
Right.
The reserve, NFL reserve.
NFL reserve. Right. Correct. Yes. Kevin Gausman got his 10th win of the season last night. Went 6 innings against the Cubbies. Fired 5 hit ball, 2 earned runs, struck out 9. 96 pitches, 64 strikeouts for Kevin Gausman. Alex Bregman turned in a really solid night without a hit last night. 0 for 2. Did draw 2 walks. Had a sacrifice hit as well that drove in a run. And he scored a run as well. 267 for Breggs. 77 RBI. Cade Doty continues to just absolutely abuse single-A baseball. Last night for the Dunedin Blue Jays, Doty, his 6th home run of the season, 1 for 5, 3 RBI. He is hitting .303 with the 6 homers and 22 runs batted in so far in single-A. Probably not going to get promoted this year because it's almost over. But there's no chance he does not start the year in Double-A next year, off of what you've seen. He's been incredible. Lastly, Sha'Carri Richardson. Matt, she's back.
Let's go.
She's back from suspension.
Let's go.
And oh, what a statement she made.
Well, she's been back from suspension.
Well, this was her first 100 meters since returning.
Remember, she ran a race and she got dusted.
What the report says. Her first 100 meters since returning.
You don't remember, she ran
I don't.
She came back when she wasn't eligible for the Olympics. They could have put her on the relay.
Yeah.
Didn't because they're cowards and whatever. But then her first race back, she got dusted. Maybe it wasn't the 100, but anyway. Okay, go ahead.
She didn't get dusted yesterday in
Good.
Switzerland. In fact, she beat the world's fastest woman, Elaine Thompson-Herah from Jamaica. Sha'Carri wins the heat, ran an 11.29. The other girl, 11.30. So it was close.
The other
girl. She shouldn't even be classified the fastest woman in the world anymore. She lost to Sha'Carri Richardson. But you have to win the Olympic gold medal to gain that title officially, which Sha'Carri Richardson will do. I'm predicting it in a few years when we return for the Summer Olympics. That's Tigers in the pros.
I mean, that's not a really bold prediction here, Muse.
I didn't say it was a bold prediction.
You can't flippantly throw out in a couple of years Sha'Carri Richardson.
I didn't say it was bold.
I
just said it's a prediction.
That's not. Come on.
Yeah, she's going to be the fastest woman in the world, Matt.
That's a little weak.
No, it's not. Why is it weak? Why is it weak? Man, it's not like she can go do it tomorrow. The Olympics just happened. You got to wait 40 years.
40 years?
4 years.
You said 40.
I did not say 40.
Rewind the tape. Did he say 40?
It sounded like 40.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. I'm glad we could do that.
Hey, thank you, Paulie. Seriously, because I want to prove a point. Go through Sterlitz and get you saying 4 because it sounds like 40. because I want to make a point. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
No, I'm dead. It's not about you, but please do that because I want to make a point. And please remind me of that because I'm going to go to break and we'll go to the top of the hour. I'm going to forget, but I want to come back to that.
Okay.
Because I have a point that I want to make.
All right.
So please go clip that and remind me when we go into the top of the hour. Go, Scone, if I start next hour and I go into whatever I'm going to do, because you know how I get. Like, I'm tunnel vision. Like, I got my rundown, I go. So if we're in the middle of the segment, after the top of the hour, raise your hand and be like, hey, Scone, the thing you wanted to talk about.
The point you had.
Interrupt me. I'm telling you, please interrupt me.
Okay.
Because when we come back, I want to make the point about what you just did. It's not about you. It's a bigger picture point, but I want to do it.
Okay.
Okay, it's after further review. We're going to knock out a break. Russ Mitchell in 20 minutes. When we come back, Dennis Allen talking about his roster today and the point I'm going to make about Musso's thing that I've just alluded to. That's coming up next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, by the way. Michelli, one of our proud sponsors on Whiskey and Wine, which starts on Sunday immediately following LSU and Florida State. So many thanks to Joel and all my great friends over at Michelli Weighing and Measurement for not only supporting us here on AFR, but also on Whiskey and Wine, and for supporting Louisiana and so many state economies, so many families for 75 years as they've continued to grow with 29 offices across 11 different states, from sea to shining sea, from Florida and Louisiana to Texas, California, Oregon, points in between. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. You weigh or measure something. They sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Check out all of the different industries that they service, or just go to the website and check out the services tab to see a list of all of the services they provide. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Online at Michelli.com.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Dibs!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Dibs!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another Serena spotlight in primetime at the U.S. Open tonight. Serena Williams takes on Annette Kontaveit in a second-round matchup. Serena certainly can win tonight and keep her chance at a 24th Grand Slam championship alive, believes ESPN tennis analyst Brad Gilbert.
And she's gotten better every day in practice, looked very good in her last match, and I expect her to even play better tonight because I think she'll be freer playing number 2 in the world instead of number 80 in the world.
U.S. Open coverage in 1 hour on ESPN TV. NFL, the Eagles traded receiver Jalen Reagor, a former first-round pick, to the Vikings for a 2023 seventh-rounder and a 2024 conditional fourth-rounder. Chargers signed running back Sony Michel, who was released by the Dolphins earlier this week. Baseball, the Orioles promoted top infield prospect Gunnar Henderson to the majors as they continue their playoff push. He recently was ranked as baseball's number 2 prospect overall by ESPN. He will be eligible to play this postseason. White Sox manager Tony La Russa out indefinitely with an unspecified medical issue.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Russ Mitchell in 15 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
From Cabo.
Hump day.
Might be inebriated.
It's hump day.
Probably inebriated.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Kicking tires.
Hump day.
Lighting fire.
It's hump day.
Talking college football.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All is right in the world again.
Hump day.
We talked booze with Taylor Calandro.
It's hump day.
Thought we had somebody else on, but we didn't.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We did talk about Ian Book gone. We celebrated LSU's illustrious history of kick and punt returners.
It's hump day.
Of which Malik Nabers will be next.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
A lot of Saints roster stuff as well, which we're going to get into right now. All right, let's go. I'll get to Dennis Allen. Met with reporters just a bit ago. Waiver process, how that's gone. Of course, the Saints have signed 16 players to the practice squad. They have added, they did place a waiver claim on a player, an offensive lineman, Tanner Owen, which we'll get to as well, the corresponding move. We know who made the team yesterday, who ain't there today. We'll get into all that in just a second. I did share right before the top of the hour that I wanted Muse to go pull a clip because I wanted to revisit it. This was Muse talking about Sha'Carri Richardson making a claim that she's going to win an Olympic medal, but you got to wait 4 years. But I say he said it sounded like 40 years. Give a listen.
You got to wait 40 years. It did sound like that. It did sound like that.
Play it again.
You got to wait 40 years.
Paul, what did you hear?
I heard 40.
You heard 40. One more time?
You got to wait 40 years. I mean, it sounds like that, yeah.
Sounds like you said 40. Now, I bring that up because as someone who speaks for a living, this is what I do. Is this fair? I speak for a living.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's what I do. There are many times where you just trip. I don't think, Muso, that you think the Olympics are every 40 years.
Yeah, correct. They're not.
You just tripped. It happens. It happens all the time. I do it and I go, slow down, son. I tell myself just to slow down. Slow your mechanism. I think that's what happened during this infamous moment. And it's not playing. That's because it's muted. Hang on. Sorry. That's what I think happened during this infamous moment.
Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana, but more importantly...
That's all. I think that's what happened to him. I don't think he was trying to talk Southern. I don't think he was trying to be country. I think he just tripped and extended a syllable. I just think he tripped and elongated a syllable the same way that Muso just was trying to say 4 and it came out 40. Just
you got to wait 40 years. I mean, it did. It sounds like that, yeah.
That's what I think happened. I don't think he was trying to sound like a Southern coach. I don't think he was trying to sound like he's out of Steel Magnolias. I think he just was excited. His heartbeat is up. He's excited. He's in front of a lot of people, and I think he just tripped and elongated a syllable. So family sound like family. That's what I think happened. That's been my theory all along. I was listening to it live when it happened. I can tell you exactly where it was. Because it was halftime of a basketball game. Halftime, left the house, took Drew to the grocery store, let him run around because he likes to do that. We were about to pull into the driveway. And I was listening to Brian Kelly on Eagle on the LSU Sports Radio Network because I carried it live on the broadcast. And I heard that as I was pulling into the driveway. And I thought, oh, he tripped over his word. That's unfortunate. And then, everything blew up. And Muso did it just now.
You got to wait 40 years.
Or Muso thinks the Olympics are every 40 years.
No, that's not it.
I don't think you do.
No.
All right, it's after further review. Saints cut their roster to 53 yesterday, and they did put in a waiver claim on a player, Tanner Owen. Eventually, I'm not going to have to pull the sheet out. Do you remember the name of the school?
Northwest Missouri State.
Yes, give yourself a ding.
Boom.
Give yourself a ding. I didn't even remember
Let's go.
Tanner Owen, undrafted rookie free agent out of Northwest Missouri State, spent training camp with the Buffalo Bills. Clearly, this is a player the Saints had scouted during the pre-draft process. He ends up signing, he went undrafted, signed with the Bills. The Bills waived him. The Saints put in a waiver claim. So he is on their 53-man roster. Tanner Owen from Northwest Missouri State, who was a left tackle in college, can play tackle and guard. So he's your swing offensive lineman now on your 53. Gives you some depth at that position. The corresponding move we've learned is the Saints have released Dwayne Washington. So Dwayne Washington, who was a really good special teams player and a backup running back for them, the Saints have released Dwayne Washington. Dennis Allen, just a bit ago when he met with reporters, of course, the big news a day ago was trading Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We'll get to in just a second Dennis Allen talking about how they're going to handle the slot corner position. But here was Dennis Allen on the whole waiver process.
The problem is that we have all the information and we don't know what the other teams are thinking. We know what we would be thinking in that situation, but they're not watching all of our practices. So, so there's that little bit of anxiousness. You don't really know for sure, but I think the reality is it's like, 2 to 3% of the wave players get claimed. So it's not a huge number, and we like the guys that we got back on the practice squad.
Yeah, it's a position group that.
So that's the player. So they've added 16 back to the practice squad. The one player notably that they lost was Ian Book. The Eagles put in a waiver claim for Ian Book. So Ian Book, 1 year with the Saints, he's done. He is now a member of the Philadelphia Eagles on their 53-man roster. So if you missed our commentary on Ian Book, we started hour 2 with that. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can scroll back to the start of hour 2. You can go listen on demand. Of course, AFR on demand presented by Brett Golf. But our Ian Book, the whole take on Book's whole time in New Orleans, that was at the start of hour 2. So you can go check that out. Now, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson being traded, how do they handle the slot cornerback position?
We'll game plan each week, see where we're at, see who we're playing, see what they like to do, see what the matchups are like. We'll make that determination on a week-by-week basis. And I love the guys that we have in the room, and we'll put a good plan together and be able to be successful on defense.
So it looks like, and we talked about it yesterday, of course, Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo are your outside corners. Bradley Roby would be your nickel. And Alontae Taylor playing in the backup role there. If Adebo's not healthy, Roby goes outside, Alontae Taylor goes to the nickel, easy. Paulson Adebo talked to reporters today, and I'm reading Nick Underhill's tweet here where he said Adebo kind of smiled and said he's day-to-day when he asked if he was going to be ready week 1. It sounds like Paulson Adebo, who's got a left ankle injury, is going to be ready week 1. Same with James Hurst. He told reporters today everything's on track for him to play week 1. So it was pretty clear. He was going to be ready. They were keeping him out of that last preseason game, and that's completely appropriate to do, and it's what they should have done with all their starters. But that makes losing Trevor Pennick less impactful because you know you're going to have James Hurst for that opener. All right, it's after further review. Just a lot of it's a lot of roster movement here, and it's a whirlwind. As Kat Terrell told us yesterday, that usually happened on a Saturday. The Saturday of the first college football game. But now with 3 preseason games instead of 4, they've knocked that down already. So still work to be done for the New Orleans Saints. As it progresses, we'll keep you posted. It's just about time. We'll knock out a break. And when we return, we will kick tires. We will light fires. Russ Mitchell's triumphant and probably buzzed return to AFR is next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know where Clegg's is because they've been serving Baton Rouge for 60 years, and what a time of year to get by Clegg's. Tomorrow is September 1st. Y'all, fall is here. Fall is here. It's still maybe in the 90s every day, but fall is here, y'all. Football is in the air. It's time to get those fall bedding plants, the fall vegetable gardens. It's time to turn some dirt and throw them seeds in the ground, y'all. Johnny Naylor Seeds, they've got them at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, you know where to find them. And remember, everything you find at a True Value hardware store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So you're a green thumb or a do-it-yourselfer, they'll save you money and they'll save you a trip. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in. Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. You know, I sent away my whole family. I'm serious. I sent my one kid back to college. I sent my other kid to Girl Scout camp. And my wife's like, hey, it's just us. And I gave her, she literally, she said, hey, it's just us. And I smiled and I handed her a plane ticket to go visit her mom. I said, come on. It's football, baby.
Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good. Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas. It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
It's football! Hey, how are you?
I'm kicking the tires and lighting the fires, baby.
Every single listener who has reached out to me today has been like, hey, man, is Russ coming on? Is Russ really coming back? It's like a bunch of little puppies fiending, like trying to get to their mama's tit, like to get some milk. That's what this is like for people today.
It's Wednesday, baby.
I know. I understand that. What did you do this offseason in hibernation?
I slept, man. What do you think you do in hibernation, man? I slept.
All right. Where do you want to start?
I'm at the beach right now, hanging out with the fellas down in Mexico.
Okay, I got it.
Jason and the boys.
All right, here we go.
Back tomorrow.
Here we go.
All
right, here we go. LSU. We have not talked even about Brian Kelly. You and I being hired. Let me start here. Win total. Vegas 7 is the total. Is LSU over or under the total?
You want to start there?
That's where I want to start, and then we'll go to week 1.
Under.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? I'm a fan of the hire. I mean, it's amazing that LSU was able to hire somebody with that much experience and poise, and I have every confidence that he'll get the trains running and things will be efficient, and he's a great coach. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time. Unfortunately, y'all schedule. I mean, you got the three best teams in the SEC West, certainly, all right smack dab at the end of the year. By the time everybody gets a little bit of weight underneath them. So, yeah, I don't know, brother. I spent some time actually on this, and we can go through it if you want to, but I'm not very optimistic at all.
All right, Florida State.
Well, that's a loss.
Wow. Okay.
You
realize it's a de facto home game, and LSU is favored.
Yeah, I don't think LSU should be favored in that. I mean, do you want to spend some time talking about that? Because I know that's probably.
Let's get back. We'll come back to the game. Let's go game by game then.
All
So
right.
they'll beat Southern, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so then Mississippi State.
Yeah, of course. LSU always beats State.
Okay. New Mexico.
Although, the home team's lost 3 in a row in this game.
Yes.
Which I'm sure you've shared.
I'm aware.
With the folks. New Mexico better not lose to New Mexico. 3-1.
All right, so
Fighting Tigers off to the races.
Okay, so then October gets hairy. They go to Auburn.
Loss.
So 3-5 going to Alabama.
Home
against Alabama. 3-6.
Yeah.
You think they'll be 3-7 when they are at
when
home
they
against
beat
UAB?
Yeah.
So you have
That's
them. Do they beat A&M?
No.
You have them going 4-8.
Yes. So the only difference
and 1-7 in the league.
Correct. If they're gonna sneak one out, it'll come in October. It'll come in that stretch of at Auburn, which is probably the best chance to squeeze one out. Tennessee at home. It's gonna be one of those two early games, October the 1st or October the 8th, at Auburn or home against Tennessee. Florida on the road. Florida, I don't know. That's a good team. But the entire season comes down to October.
I agree with that. How you do in October determines what, if anything, you're playing for in November. So, yes, I agree.
Now, it's interesting because I would disagree with you slightly. I mean, I don't think that there's any sane LSU football fan right now. I'm speaking to the one of you driving in your car right now. I don't think there's any sane LSU football fan that's going into this season thinking that they're competing for anything.
There are people who think LSU's winning 10 games this year.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not one of them, but I also think they win double the amount you do. I think they're going to be an 8-4 football team.
Boy, you think they're winning the whole month of October?
No, I think they beat Florida State, and so they win their 4 non-conference games.
Right.
I think
keep going.
I think they're going to win their 4 non-conference games. I think October they split. They go 2-2 in that stretch. They'll probably win 1 at home, lose 1 at home, win 1 on the road, lose 1 on the road. I think they'll obviously lose to Bama, beat UAB, and so that puts you at 7. And then the question is, can you split Arkansas, Texas A&M? I'll say they get 1 of those on the road. They've had
both on the road. Both on the road.
They've had a lot of success against Texas A&M, and I don't think Arkansas is as good as some are trumpeting them to be. So that's why I have them at 8. I think their floor is 7.
Oh wow, man! Are you playing up to the home crowd here?
You know me as well as anybody. Have I ever in my life done that?
I'm just teasing.
I'm the guy who spent the last 5 years in professional misery because I said I didn't like the coaching hire, and the coach made my professional life, tried to make my professional life a living hell for half a decade. So if you think I'm sitting here BSing people, you know me too well.
I don't know. In order for what you just described to happen, all the chips got to fall LSU's way, brother. All of them. I mean, they'd have to get every bounce and everything has to play out perfectly. And, I just don't see that happening.
Walk me through.
I want to see LSU be competitive in every game except Alabama. That's what I want to see.
You realize they held Alabama to single digits in rushing yards a year ago.
Mm.
And were a blink away from actually winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think they have better players than maybe you're thinking they do. And the biggest problem they had was the head coach, who was a total disaster. And purging him, you've immediately upgraded.
I don't know. I think this is going to be another juggernaut Alabama team, and they're playing at home. So.
I don't think they're winning that game for sure. Okay, let's talk about this weekend, then we'll get to some of the other big games because we only have you for one segment today. So, yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting to me. I was spending some time looking at some of the LSU. A lot of LSU folks think they're going to win this game big.
That's crazy.
Man, that's crazy. Look, this is not the 2020 Florida State team, man. This is a team that's actually, they played arguably the toughest schedule in the ACC last year. They've got 16 returning starters, including 9 of the starting 11 on defense. You remember last year against UCLA? Remember how we spent the whole Friday discussing the fact that UCLA had, although I think that was in reference to you and me. I think that was in reference to you and me.
It actually was. He said we spent the whole Friday. He did say we, but he said he was talking about he and I there at the we're at the Lowe's Hollywood. You and I
remember
doing the show.
UCLA had 11 returning starters on defense. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Florida State has 9 returning starters on defense. They finished off the year strong. They had a great week last week, and I don't care who they played. I mean, even in a scrimmage, when was the last time the Seminoles went 60 minutes without a mistake, right? So this is a good team y'all are playing against, and if you're an LSU fan, you point to the fact that they got 9 returning starters on defense, but 7 of their total starters are underclassmen. This is a very young Florida State team, but it's a young LSU team too. I'm not worried about LSU's defense. I'm worried about LSU's offensive line.
Yes.
To me, this whole game comes down to offensive line versus defensive line. And Florida State's defensive line, Cooper and Lovett, could both be playing on Sundays right now. They wouldn't have gotten drafted high, but if they'd gone, they would have both gotten drafted. And they've got Norvell's going to rotate 11 kids. They're going to rotate. Listen to me now. They're going to rotate 11 kids on that defensive line. Do you really think your offensive line can handle that for 4 quarters?
I would say the same question in reverse. I don't think that Florida State's offensive line can manage LSU's.
I know. They ran for 406 yards last week. They had 3 guys run for 100 yards.
Against Duquesne.
3 in the history of Florida State, and they played in some crappy ACC years. In the history, they've never had 300-yard rushers.
I get it. I watched the whole game. And
so did I, brother.
Duquesne had defensive linemen as big as me. So they ran it.
That's big, man. I've seen you lately. You've been eating, man. You've been eating.
Shut up. All right, it's after further review. So Russ Mitchell has the Tigers going 4-8, losing to Florida State on Sunday. Everyone was so excited to hear from you. Now you're this giant wet blanket. Hey, all right, when we were at Media Days, there's a consensus. Everybody knows Bama's going to win the West and Georgia's going to win the East. Like, everyone just accepts that as gospel, and I don't think there's really an argument to the other side. What nobody could agree on, and this was, like, in Atlanta, the biggest question everybody asks is, who's the second best team in both divisions? There was no consensus. What say you?
I like that. I think that the conference, we've seen 3 straight championships by 3 different teams. I mean, it's not like back to the crazy 7 in a row sort of thing. But, I like to see that we've got this parity that's moving up. And the rich get richer. And the SEC is going to be one of those conferences that continue to see, some of the turmoil in college football working in its favor. To me, the second best team in the West is Arkansas. Maybe Ole Miss or A&M, depending on how some of the new kids play, Ole Miss in particular, who really hit the portal hard. But Arkansas keeps getting better in almost every facet. The bowl win they had in January, that was their first January bowl win since Clinton was president, man. I mean, that was a long time ago. They have 5 upset wins under Pittman, and it's really 7 because they got jobbed a couple times. They avoid the top three, and this is the other thing. We talk about this all the time. Schedules, right? They avoid the top three teams from the East. Texas is off their schedule. They only have 3 road games because one of them is neutral. So I got to tell you, I like the Hogs.
But they
Break up the Hogs, baby.
They do play Cincinnati in their opener, and they go to BYU. Oddly
Yeah,
enough.
we'll talk about that.
They do, by the way, statistically, Arkansas has the toughest schedule in America. Like, that's a team, Russ, that I think might be better this year than they were a year ago, but their record's not going to show it because of the schedule. It's a brutal gauntlet that they've got to face this year. So, let's talk about week 1. Russ Mitchell's with us, College Football News. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. I know you wanted to highlight a couple of games. Let's start in the league. We talked about LSU and Florida State. What about the other team in Florida, the Gators, hosting Utah?
Yeah, to me, this is the most exciting game of the week. I know everybody's like Utah. If this game was being played in Utah, if this game was being played in Salt Lake City, I'd like Utah by 10. But since it's in Florida, I think it'll be a little bit closer. This is a Utah team. There's a lot riding on this because Oregon's not going to be able to keep up with Georgia. To me, the only thing exciting about that is Dan coming back, and it's not even like he's coming back to Athens. He's just coming back to Atlanta. Yeah. And I want to see what Kirby does with the defense. But I'm really excited to see what Napier's done to this floor. They have a lot of talent there. But don't kid yourself, this Utah team, they have a star quarterback. They have their top 3 running backs. Top 3 running backs coming back, and 14 starters from a team that really did well in the Pac-12 last year. I like this Utah team to beat Florida.
Utah's is a field goal favorite in the Swamp this weekend, and that is a pretty popular pick with the Utes. What about the other big one, at least nominally, which is Notre Dame going to Ohio State? But, man, Notre Dame is a 17.5-point dog in the horseshoe.
This kind of reminds me of some of these, like, you remember when Alabama played USC?
Oh, yeah.
When was that?
Russ, that was 2016 because I watched that game doing post-game outside of Lambeau Field after LSU lost to Wisconsin.
Yes.
Miserable
that was
day.
That was a miserable day. Everyone has this as a sexy pick. So somehow, like, Notre Dame's going to be like Oregon. Ohio State slept. I don't think Ohio State had a lot of respect for Oregon. And Notre Dame might have an offensive line, but this is an Ohio State team. They got C.J. Stroud back. They got their top running back and Henderson coming back. They got their stud wide receiver, all from a team that last year led the nation in scoring with like 50 points in total offense and 500-plus yards per game. At home in the shoe, I like Ohio. I'm very comfortable with that 17 points.
Okay. It's 17.5, by the way. You got to lay the hook.
I'm fine with the hook.
Hey, let's circle back to Cincy and Arkansas. I think Arkansas is less than a touchdown favorite at home. I think it's maybe 6.
Yeah, that's another. I want to be very clear that I am a big believer that one should never wager on children because what? They'll always break your heart.
Yeah.
But
you've tried to tell me that for years. I don't ever listen.
This is a Cincy team that's replacing their starting quarterback, their starting running back, their stud wide receiver, their stud defensive lineman, their stud linebacker, and both of their stud defensive backs. They don't have that kind of depth, man. This is against an Arkansas team playing at home too. I like Jefferson. I like what Pittman's doing with this team, and I like Arkansas big in this game actually.
Yeah. It's a 6-point line against that great Arkansas team, even with all that they've lost and going on the road. Stunning about that one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Vegas operates in its own world with its own math based off of how people are wagering. So, I think that they're just trying to get money on both sides. But this is I think Arkansas makes a statement.
He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Send all of your vitriol his way as he has picked your Fighting Tigers of LSU to
Send it to me, baby!
4-8. Oh, if they go 4-8, burn it down, brother.
Do you think so? Do you think? Listen, it depends on how you go 4-8.
No,
like if you get better and better as the season goes along, if they're all 7.
No.
You think they burn it down? You think they burn it down?
Brother, Ed Ogeron was a complete and utter disaster and won 6 games last year.
Well, then you better split October, brother, for 6 and 6, because it's not happening. It is not happening in November.
I am really looking forward to following this as the season goes along, because I think you have grossly maybe I've overrated them, but I think you have grossly underrated them at 4. Russ Mitchell, college football news. We got to run. Safe travels. We'll talk next week.
Love you, brother. Talk
Love
to
you
later.
too, man. We'll see you. Chats with Russ brought to you by South Point Volkswagen at southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, we'll knock out a quick break when we come back. Oh, it's Pluckers Trivia Night. Peg Muse with some trivia questions. Get your calls, texts, emails, tweets. React to Russ. 4-8. 4-8? That's got to be the lowest prediction I've seen so far. And Otterlock's coming up in... Lee had him at 5-7. We thought Lee was high. Russ got him at 4-8. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, 1hourbr.com. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. Matter of fact, next week I've got my annual maintenance scheduled. They called me. When you're part of the River City's 1 Hour Air Maintenance Club, when your annual seasonal maintenance comes around, they call you. So every year in the summertime, I get my AC serviced. Every year in the wintertime, I get my heater serviced. They call me to schedule, and it's complimentary when you're part of their membership club. Part of the membership club, you get your complimentary seasonal maintenance. You get preferred scheduling times as a membership club member, and also you get membership club pricing on any repairs or work done. It's so worth it. Ask about it when you call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I must have blacked out. We're a little late here because I probably passed out maybe for about 5 minutes or so after Russ Mitchell picked LSU 4-8. 4-8. I mean, Jerry DiNardo's last year, the Tigers were a 3-win football team in 1999. They are in far better stead today than they were then, as I mentioned. Les Miles' worst team ever won 8 games. Ed Ogeron was a disaster, and they won 6 games a year ago. They'll do better than 4. I don't know how much. Maybe I'm wrong having them at 8. They'll do better than 4. Man, that was something. Are we going to get to Otter Locks? Muse. Hit me with a little trivia music, though. Let's lighten the mood a little. You know what I mean? Let's unbutton the collar. Roll up the sleeves.
Loosen the tie a little bit?
Loosen the tie. Kick off the shoes. Ooh. Pour a bevy. Light up a cigar, or in your case, a joint.
Whoa.
Hey, sorry. A J?
No.
A doobie?
No.
A roach?
A what?
Roach?
No.
Okay. Muse.
Okay.
What river flows along the western boundary of New Jersey? What river flows around the western boundary of New Jersey? It's a 3-hour show, Muse.
Is that the Hudson River?
Ay, sorry. What river was it that George Washington crossed in the...
that's the Delaware.
The Delaware River would be it. Yeah, about that. Before and after Jeopardy trivia next week.
That's going to be awesome.
A fantasy collectible card game about an NBA team in Florida. You understand the concept of before and after?
Yeah, I do. I'm just... okay, say it again one more time for me.
A fantasy collectible card game about a basketball team, an NBA team in Florida.
Magic? Or oh, wait, I need the before as well. Yeah, no, I don't know that one.
Well, the before would be Orlando Magic: The Gathering.
Oh, yeah, I would have never gotten that.
The card game would be Magic: The Gathering. So it's Orlando Magic: The Gathering.
I would have never gotten that. I don't know what Magic: The Gathering is.
Well, that's the collectible card game. You never collected Magic cards?
No,
I didn't either, but I had friends that did. They're really valuable, too, if you ever look at Magic cards. One more, Muse. Here you go.
Yeah, because that was a losing battle there.
Well, they do before and after, like on Wheel of Fortune as well.
I love
and
that.
And Drew, my son, is like the biggest Wheel of Fortune fan in the world. I'm serious.
I want to go on Wheel of Fortune, actually.
So does my mom. You and my mom. Great.
I'm very good at it.
Good job. Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, you just sucked at the before and after.
That's a different.
That's exactly how. That's actually exactly how that goes. Last one here. Which Justified actor had a guest role as a military man named Coop in season 5 of Rick and Morty?
Well, I don't watch either of those shows, so I have no idea. John Stamos.
Timothy Oliphant is the answer. I don't know what Justified is. I don't know what Rick and Morty is.
I know what Rick and Morty is. It's a cartoon, but I mean, I don't watch it religiously.
What is Justified?
I have no idea.
Who is Timothy Oliphant?
Don't know that either.
Awesome. We are no good at this at all
I
combined.
like the
Although,
themed ones better.
last week.
Last week with Disney.
Your boy, I told you. Did I? I mean, come on.
You did say.
Your boy ran the table. I swept the field, as they would say in the Disney trivia round. You need a ringer for a little Disney trivia. Holler at your boy. Although, I better get the lion's share of the winnings from our winnings next time.
Looking forward to Jeopardy next week, though. That's going to be awesome.
That is next week. Did you see Celebrity Jeopardy is coming? Like in real life, they're having Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh, so they're not just going to have like Sean Connery up there.
Hosted by
misreading the
Mayim
board.
Bialik. They're actually going to have Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah. We like Mayim Bialik. She's good.
Or Blossom, yeah.
Blossom.
We've talked about this, but you
Amy
didn't know
Farrah
that.
from Big Bang Theory.
You didn't know Blossom, though.
No, I didn't, which is shocking because
Joey Lawrence?
Yeah, we know that too. I'm a huge sitcom. I love sitcoms.
Whoa, I didn't know that about you.
Yep.
All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out our final break of the show. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Otter Locks is coming up next to wrap up AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them, agent225.com, agent225.com. Of course, eXp Realty is the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the world. And Darren James, certainly in this state and nationally, is one of the forefront of that growth. Agent225.com, agent225.com. You want to see every one of Darren's listings, you'll see it listed right there. There's one in Geismar, $425K on Belle Savain. There's, if it's a rural tract of land, if it's homes in the University Club or anywhere in between, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if your house is a $50,000 house or a $50 million house. Darren has a way of treating you like you are his only client, which is why he gets results. It's why he's got his raving fan club that we tell you about all the time. If you need to sell your home, if you're buying a home, call Darren James, 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I am Juliet, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women. Women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Remember, when we get out of here, I'm heading right over to Olive or Twist. T-Bob and I will have scone and tea tonight. If you can't be there in person at Olive or Twist, you can join us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're watching right now, thank you. You can watch us on a scone and tea right here, or the Watch 104.5 ESPN, or the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page, excuse me. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks, presented by Workbox Services. For over 20 years, Baton Rouge's leader on on-site construction, industrial, and residential services.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the of an incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott Otter. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Matt, we're over at Rufino's tonight. Rufino's, it's their annual Eat the Competition wine dinner, and 100% of the proceeds go to the tribute that Todd Graves, his very close friends of Ruff and Rodrigue, started at the top of Victory Hill. And so they started last year. Keep in mind, Ida was hitting. It was very close call whether they canceled it or not. So we have a full house in here tonight. Awesome. Over here at Rufino's. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, honestly, man, I wanted to be there. The menu looks phenomenal. We got scone and tea on Wednesday, so I'm a little bummed that I can't make it, but I hope you'll have an awesome time tonight. Full slate, man.
Just stroll in bombed,
I don't. Well, I don't get bombed at scone and tea. I don't get bombed at whiskey and wine. If I'm sitting at my home on a random Saturday, then I could. Maybe I will do that. But anyway,
all right, here we go. Some more win totals for college football. I gave you Georgia Tech under 3.5.
Wow.
Did I give you West Virginia over 5.5?
You did. You gave us West Virginia yesterday.
Okay. On to the Maction, baby. Ohio under 5.5. Frank Solich was there for 16 years. He had one losing season. Last year, they were 3-9. Not only Nebraska misses Frank Solich, under 5.5 in that one. Go to the SEC. Dottie, gosh almighty, when's Ole Miss going to beat somebody? Well, we hope they beat Kentucky and Auburn at home, which they'll be heavily favored to do so. Kentucky has about a touchdown. Auburn probably even bigger than that. Over 7.5. I know it's back-heavy, backloaded the schedule. I can't see how they don't come into Baton Rouge 7-0. In October.
Yeah, Otter, they could start 8-0 if they beat Kentucky. It's there's the first 2 months of their schedule are very manageable.
Yeah, 7-0 to come into Baton Rouge. 7-0. That would be their 8th game. So Kentucky and Auburn's the only thing keeping them. They're both at home in Oxford. I saw Matt Corral before Lane Kiffin got him. Jackson Dart's going to be fine, and he's Joey Fresh Portal is doing it pretty good, rounding out that roster. In the Mountain West, Air Force, myself, Matt Humans, Bruce Marshall, all took over 8.5. This is a team that was 9-3 regular season last year. All 3 losses were by 1 score. And so they are the quarterback's back, the coach, a lot of continuity there. The fullback is a mule, man. They got some key guys at key places. Over 8.5. They'll be favored in probably 11 of their 12 games. Let the force be with you.
All right, Air Force over 8.5. All right. Anything in baseball tonight?
Yes, indeed.
All
right. We're going to go to Arizona. They have outscored the Phillies since they fell behind 7-0. They've outscored them 25-3. They're coming back plus money tonight. And look, Aaron Nola was on fire until they got him last night. They pounded him last night. It's just a team that's really hot right now. Henry's a better pitcher than Falter that's starting. We got Arizona coming back 20, 30, something like that.
I'm looking at 115.
Okay, Minnesota to finish off the sweep, minus $1.20 at home against Boston.
Okay.
Tampa Bay minus 1.5. St. Louis minus 1.5.
St. Louis minus 1.5. Okay, so Arizona on the money line, the Twins on the money line, Tampa and St. Louis on the run line. 4 baseball plays for the Otter tonight, who is at Ruffino's for game time. All right, Otter, have a great night, man. Tell everybody at Ruffino's we said hello. Give them our best.
Yes, it did. Thank you, Matt.
All righty. That'll do it for us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Muse, what'd you learn today?
Russ hates LSU.
It's also not true, but yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Paulie, what'd you learn?
LSU players still don't know the starting quarterback.
Yeah, man.
What'd you learn, Matt?
That Musso believes it's 40 years between Olympic Games.
Nope.
We'll see you tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffery in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. Check them out online. I tell you every single day, hormone replacement therapy. It doesn't matter what your age is. It's about how you feel. Every single human, all of us, we age at a different rate. And a lot of times, stress can be an accelerant of the aging process. That happened to me. We spent 9 months in the hospital with our son. That aged me dramatically. And I didn't have an idea. Went to the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. They ran my blood test, and I had dangerously low testosterone levels. And I didn't know. But when I started feeling good again, you better believe you could tell the difference. Do the same for you. Learn more online at theantiagingclinics.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1